Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real straight. When a man shows you who he is with his words, believe him the first time. If he says, "You're too much," leave him, because you are not too much. You are just enough for the man who knows your worth. That man won't be intimidated by your strength, your vision, or your passion. He'll celebrate it. But the one who says that, he's showing you he's not built for a woman like you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. When a man opens his mouth, he's telling you everything you need to know. You don't need a lie detector test. You don't need a private investigator. You don't need to scroll through his phone at 2 a.m. All you really got to do is listen, because his words, that's his confession. That's his truth. And if you listen close enough, he'll tell on himself every single time. See, a man can only pretend for so long, but eventually what's in the heart makes its way out of the mouth. That little joke he makes about how you lucky to have him, that's not a joke. That's how he really sees himself in your life. As a prize, like you're supposed to be grateful he showed up. But when he casually says, "You're too emotional," after you express how something made you feel, that's not a misunderstanding. That's him telling you he doesn't value your voice. He doesn't want to deal with your truth. He wants peace, but only the kind that comes from you being quiet. I've seen too many women stay in situations where the man told them who he was flat out, but they didn't want to believe it. He said, "I don't want anything serious right now." And what did she do? She thought if she loved him hard enough, if she gave him time, if she proved she was different, he'd change his mind. Baby, he already told you. He said it clear as day. It wasn't a riddle. He wasn't speaking in code. He doesn't want to be tied down. And if you stick around trying to change that, you're just tying yourself up to heartbreak. Or how about when he says, "I'm not like other guys," right at the beginning? Watch that one. That line, that's a setup. That's him trying to paint a picture before you see the truth. Real men don't announce who they are, they show you. And when a man talks too much about being different, it's often because he knows deep down he's exactly the same. He's just hoping you believe the trailer long enough to ignore the whole movie. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot afford to ignore what a man says, because his words are often your warning. When he jokes about cheating, when he dismisses your boundaries, when he minimizes your accomplishments, those aren't random moments. That's him showing you how he sees you, how he sees himself, and how he plans to move in the relationship. Some women are out here playing translator with a man's words, trying to flip the meaning, soften the blow, reinterpret the message like he didn't really mean it that way. Yes, he did. Stop giving discounts on your peace just because you want love. Love is not confusing. Love is not unclear. And when a man loves you, his words sound like safety. They sound like support. They don't leave you feeling small, confused, or doubting your worth. So if he says, "You'll never find someone like me," believe him and thank God for that, because he's absolutely right. You don't want to find someone like him. You want someone better. If he says, "You're lucky I deal with you," no. You're lucky you figured out who he really was before he could do more damage. If he says, "You're not like other women," understand that's a trap. He's separating you to control you. He wants you to believe that being chosen by him is a compliment. It's not. It's a cage dressed up like a crown. The truth is, you teach people how to treat you by what you allow. And if you allow a man to use his words to tear you down, to manipulate you, or to keep you in a fall, he will. Not because he's evil, but because you gave him permission. Listening isn't passive. Listening is power. And when you start paying attention to not just what he says, but how he says it, when he says it, and why he says it, that's when you take your power back. Because words don't lie, people do, but the mouth always slips up. So listen carefully, because that slip up, that might be your ticket to freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to be real with you about something that many women overlook when they're caught up in love. If a man belittles your dreams, if he ever makes you feel like your goals and ambitions are too big or too much, he does not deserve a seat at your table. Not a small chair, not a folding chair, not even a bench, no seat at all. See, your dreams are the blueprint of your soul. They're the fire inside you that pushes you forward when life wants to knock you down. They are the very thing that makes you unique and powerful. When a man looks at you and starts to criticize your vision, that is a red flag flashing right in front of you. Because a man who truly respects you will honor your dreams, not diminish them. Too many times I've seen women put their dreams on pause just to keep a man comfortable. Maybe he said something like, "Why do you have to work so hard? Can't you just slow down? Or do you really need to chase that? It sounds unrealistic." Let me tell you, those words aren't coming from love or support. They're coming from fear. He's scared your success will outshine him. He's scared your independence will leave him behind. A real man doesn't want you to slow down. He doesn't want you to settle for less just because it's easier for him. No, he should be the one pushing you, encouraging you, telling you that your dreams are worth fighting for. If he's not doing that, then he's a distraction, not a partner. Think about it. When you tell someone your dreams and they laugh or roll their eyes, they're not just dismissing your goals, they're dismissing you. They're saying without words that you're not worthy of that success or happiness. And that kind of mindset will poison your confidence. It will make you question whether you deserve to chase what sets your heart on fire. But here's the truth. Your dreams are not up for negotiation. They're not something to be shrunk or hidden to make someone else feel better. You deserve a man who sees your ambition as a reflection of your strength. You deserve a man who knows that when you win, you both win. You deserve a man who cheers for you louder than he cheers for himself. Don't confuse control for care. When a man tells you to stop dreaming big or hints that your ambitions are a problem, he's trying to control your future. He's trying to make sure the spotlight never shifts from him to you. But your dreams, they are your legacy. They are your power. And if he can't stand in that light with you, then he has no business walking beside you. Now, some women think that loving a man means putting his comfort first, that they should make sacrifices and tone down their aspirations for the sake of the relationship. But love is not about sacrifice that costs your soul. Love is about growth. It's about pushing each other higher. If a man can't celebrate your victories or your hustle, then he's not a partner. He's an obstacle. Look, I'm not saying it's easy. Sometimes when a man belittles your dreams, it's hard to walk away. Sometimes love feels like a safe place, even when it's shrinking your wings. But you have to remember who you are. You are a queen building an empire. You don't have time for anyone who sees your crown as a threat. So if he says things like, "Why you have to work so much?" or "That's too ambitious for you," or "You chasing something you'll never get," take it as a warning. Because no one who truly loves you will try to clip your wings. Instead, they will help you soar. Your dreams are the language of your soul. They tell the world who you are and what you're meant to do. Don't let anyone silence that voice. Don't let anyone make you feel small for wanting more. Your dreams are not just for you, they're for the world to see. And if a man can't handle that, then it's time to let him go. Remember, a man who belittles your dreams is not protecting you, he's protecting his ego. He's trying to keep you small so you won't leave. But you were born to grow, to rise, and to shine. You were born to make your dreams. Stand tall, keep dreaming, and never let anyone tell you your goals are too big, because they're not. They're just right for the woman you meant to be. Ladies and gentlemen, listen up, because this is something that needs to be said loud and clear. Disrespect in any form is not just a little bump in the road. It is a flashing red light screaming at you to stop and take notice. And if you ignore it, you're putting yourself in harm's way. Too many women brush off disrespect thinking it's no big deal, or that it's just part of love, or worse, that it's somehow their fault. Let me tell you, it is none of those things. Disrespect comes in many forms. Sometimes it's loud and obvious, and sometimes it's quiet and sneaky. But make no mistake, it is always a warning sign. Maybe he interrupts you when you're talking. Maybe he makes a joke at your expense in front of friends. Maybe he dismisses your feelings like they don't matter. Maybe he constantly checks his phone when you're trying to have a serious conversation. Whatever the form, disrespect chips away at your self-worth bit by bit until you don't even recognize yourself. I want you to hear me. Disrespect is never okay, and it's not something you should ever have to excuse, explain away, or tolerate for the sake of love or trying to work things out. If a man truly respects you, he shows it in everything he does, from the way he listens to your voice to the way he treats you when no one else is watching. Respect is not selective, it's consistent. Now, I know some women think respect means grand gestures or fancy words, but it starts with the little things. Respect is in the way he values your time, honors your boundaries, and treats your opinions like they matter. When those things are missing, it's a sign that respect is missing too. And without respect, love doesn't stand a chance. Sometimes disrespect looks like him talking down to you, calling you names, or making you feel small just to make himself feel bigger. Don't accept that. Sometimes it's him ignoring your needs or making decisions without you. Don't accept that either. When disrespect becomes a pattern, it's a clear sign that you are not a priority in his life. And that's not love, that's selfishness. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to get to the point where you respect yourself so much that disrespect becomes a deal breaker. It's not about being perfect or expecting someone to never make mistakes. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to let anyone tear it down. Because when you allow disrespect, you're teaching the world how to treat you, and that lesson will keep coming back until you change it. I want you to think about this. Would you tolerate a friend who disrespects you? How about a coworker? Probably not. Then why put up with it in a relationship where love is supposed to be the foundation? If someone truly cares about you, disrespect will not find a place in their heart or their words. I've seen too many women caught up in the hope that disrespect will turn into respect over time. It doesn't work like that. Disrespect is not a mistake. It's a choice. And if a man chooses to disrespect you again and again, that's not your failure, it's his character. You cannot fix that, you cannot change that. You can only walk away from it. And walking away is not a sign of weakness, It's a sign of strength. It's saying, I will not settle for less than I deserve. It's saying, I know my value and I refuse to be treated like I'm anything less. When you set those boundaries, you're not just protecting yourself, you're setting a standard for the rest of your life. I want you to imagine the kind of love you deserve, the kind that lifts you up, that makes you feel safe and cherished every single day. That kind of love does not disrespect you. It respects your heart, your mind, and your soul. It honors you in the way it speaks to you and the way it acts towards you. And when you find that love, you'll know it because disrespect will no longer be part of your story. So if he ever disrespects you, don't ignore it, don't downplay it, don't make excuses, take it as a warning sign. Because disrespect is not just an uncomfortable moment, it's a danger sign flashing red. And your job is to protect your heart, protect your dignity, and protect your peace. Remember, you are worth more than disrespect. You are worth more than being talked down to, ignored, or made to feel less than you are. You deserve respect every day, in every way. And if he can't give you that, then he doesn't deserve a seat at your table. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hear me on something that too many people miss. When a man plays with your worth, he's not just being careless or thoughtless. No, what he's really doing is showing you that he fears your power. And that fear, it's not about you being too much. It's about him feeling not enough. You see, a woman's worth is like a light shining bright. And some men, instead of standing in that light with you, try to dim it. They try to make you question yourself, to make you feel like you're not deserving of love, respect, or happiness. Why? Because when your power is clear and strong, it challenges their own insecurities. It exposes what they lack inside. When a man plays with your worth, he might make you feel like you're crazy for believing in yourself. He might ignore your achievements or brush off your feelings like they don't matter. Maybe he makes comments that put you down or tries to control the narrative of who you are. That's not love, that's fear in disguise. Let me tell you something. Your worth is not up for negotiation. It's not something he can borrow when it's convenient and throw away when it's not. It's your foundation, your backbone. When he tries to play games with that, he's showing you exactly how he feels about himself and how little he respects what you bring to the table. A man who fears your power is often threatened by your confidence. He's scared that if you shine too bright, you'll outgrow him. He's scared that your independence will leave him behind or make him feel less like a man. But let me be clear, your power is not the enemy. It's the gift that can lift you both up if he's willing to step into it with you. Some men will try to keep you small to protect their ego. They'll try to convince you that you need them more than they need you. They'll gaslight you into thinking that your dreams, your talents, your self-respect are too much for anyone to handle. But that's a lie. You were made for greatness. You were made to be powerful. And anyone who can't handle that doesn't deserve a place in your life. It's important to understand that playing with your worth is a form of emotional manipulation. It's a tactic to control you by making you doubt yourself. But you must recognize it for what it is and refuse to let it take root. When you stand firm in your value, those games don't work. They lose their power over you. The reality is this: a man who fears your power will eventually reveal himself. His true colors will come out in how he treats you when you're at your best, not just your worst. He will either rise to support your strength or try to tear it down. There is no middle ground. And here's the good news. When you stop allowing him to play with your worth, you reclaim your power. You stop looking for validation in places where it's never coming. You start building relationships based on mutual respect, where both people celebrate each other's strengths instead of fearing them. You have to get to the point where you love yourself so much that no one can make you question your value. You have to be so rooted in who you are that even when someone tries to play games, you stand tall and say, I know my worth, because once you do that, you will attract the kind of love and respect you truly deserve. Remember, your power is your gift to the world. It's not something to hide or be ashamed of. It's something to embrace fiercely and protect fiercely. If a man plays with your worth, it's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of his fear. And fear is not love. So don't settle for anything less than someone who sees your power and stands beside it, not against it. Don't give your time or your heart to anyone who tries to play games with what makes you, you. Because you are worthy, you are powerful, and you are meant for a love that celebrates all of that. Stand strong, stand proud, and never let anyone make you doubt the incredible value you bring to this world. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real. True love is one of the most powerful forces there is, but it's also the most misunderstood. So many people think love means sacrifice, compromise, even pain. And while love does ask for giving, true love does not drain you or control you. It uplifts you. It frees you. It builds you up, not tears you down. If you find yourself in a relationship where you feel drained emotionally, mentally, even physically, that's not love. That's a warning sign. True love doesn't leave you feeling empty or exhausted. It fills you with energy, with hope, with strength. When you walk away from a day with your partner, you should feel better, not worse. You should feel supported, not depleted. You should feel encouraged, not controlled. Control is disguised in many ways. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's blatant. Maybe he tries to decide who you hang out with, what you wear, or how you spend your time. Maybe he criticizes your choices or makes you feel guilty for having your own opinions. That's not love. That's control dressed up as care, and it's toxic. Real love respects your freedom to be yourself and grow into the person you're meant to be. Love is not about having power over someone else. It's about sharing power. It's about walking side by side, not holding the reins in one hand while the other is empty. When love is real, it feels like a partnership, a space where both people can thrive. Neither person is trying to tear down the other to feel better about themselves. Instead, both people build each other up. If your love feels like a battle or a struggle to maintain, it's time to stop and reevaluate. Love should be a source of peace, not conflict. It should feel like coming home, not walking on eggshells. When it doesn't, don't blame yourself or convince yourself that love is supposed to be hard all the time. That's a lie society tells us to keep us stuck in unhealthy cycles. True love uplifts by believing in your dreams and encouraging you to chase them. It uplifts by listening to your fears without judgment and offering comfort instead of criticism. It uplifts by celebrating your wins and standing steady during your losses. If the person you love doesn't do these things, you have to ask yourself why you're holding on. There's a difference between compromise and control. Compromise means two people meeting in the middle, both giving and taking because they respect each other's needs and boundaries. Control means one person deciding what's best for both and ignoring the other's feelings. True love never controls, it collaborates. Many times people confuse possessiveness with love. They think jealousy or wanting to keep an eye on you is proof that someone cares. But that's fear, not love. Love trusts. Love gives space. Love lets you breathe. If your partner tries to cage you in with their words or actions, they are not loving you. They are trying to hold on to you because they don't trust themselves or the relationship. You deserve a love that frees you, not confines you. You deserve a love that makes you feel like you can conquer the world, not like you have to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's mold. A love that uplifts you is a love that makes you better every single day. Think about the people who truly love you. The ones who cheer the loudest when you succeed and lift you higher when you stumble. Their love is a gift because it doesn't ask you to give up yourself. It asks you to be your best self. That's the kind of love you should never for anything less than. So if your relationship feels like it's draining your energy, your joy, or your sense of self, pay attention. That's a sign you're in a place that's not meant for you. And don't be afraid to walk away. True love will wait for you when you find it. The kind that lifts you up, supports your growth, and walks beside you as an equal. Never forget, love is not about control or sacrifice that costs your spirit. It's about partnership, respect, and the kind of uplifting support that makes life sweeter, brighter, and fuller. You deserve that kind of love. Don't settle for anything less. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about something that many people overlook when it comes to relationships: the consistency between words and actions. Because here's the truth. If a man's words don't match his actions, he's not serious about you. You can't build the future on empty promises and mixed signals. It just doesn't work that way. We all want to believe the best in people, especially the ones we care about. When he says, "I love you," or "I'm committed," your heart wants to hold on to those words. But if his actions tell a different story, you're setting yourself up for pain. Actions are the real proof. Words are easy to say, but actions take effort, time, and sincerity. Think about it. How many times have you heard promises that never materialized? How many plans were made and then canceled last minute? How many times has he said one thing but done another? That inconsistency is not just careless, it's a sign of his true feelings and priorities. When a man is serious, he shows up, he follows through, he matches his words with his behavior. Inconsistency creates confusion and doubt. It makes you question everything. You start to wonder if you're imagining things, if you're too sensitive, or if you're just unlucky. But the problem is not you, it's him. When someone truly cares, they don't leave you guessing. They don't play games with your heart. They make their intentions clear through steady, reliable actions. It's important to understand that consistency is a form of respect. When a man is consistent, he respects your time, your feelings, and your trust. He values the relationship enough to be dependable. When he's inconsistent, he's telling you without words that you're not a priority, that your feelings don't matter enough to be treated with honesty and care. Sometimes inconsistency looks like hot and cold behavior. He's loving and attentive one day, distant and unavailable the next. Sometimes it's showing up when it's convenient, but disappearing when things get tough. Maybe he's affectionate in private, but cold in public. Whatever the form, it creates instability and insecurity. You deserve to be with someone who makes you feel safe, not unsettled. You deserve to know where you stand. You deserve someone whose "I love you" comes with actions that back it up every day. Because love without consistency is just wishful thinking. If you notice this pattern, don't ignore it or make excuses. Don't convince yourself that he'll change or that things will get better with time. Inconsistency is often a sign that he's not ready or willing to commit. And no amount of hoping will fix that. You have to protect your heart by recognizing when someone's actions don't align with their words. You deserve transparency and reliability. You deserve a partner who communicates clearly and follows through. You deserve someone who doesn't leave you waiting and wondering. Relationships built on shaky ground of inconsistency are exhausting and painful. They drain your energy and your self-esteem. So when you hear sweet words but see empty actions, take that as a warning sign. Don't settle for confusion. Don't settle for less than what you deserve. True love is consistent. True love shows up. True love means that the person you care about values you enough to be steady and honest. Remember, actions speak louder than words every time. If he's serious about you, he'll prove it not just with promises, but with consistent behavior. And if he can't, it's time to leave him immediately, because your heart deserves better than mixed messages and broken commitments. Trust yourself enough to walk away from inconsistency. Trust yourself enough to wait for the kind of love that's steady, sure, and real. Because when a man truly loves you, he won't just tell you, he'll show you every day in every way.